Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Zero System, and today we're going to take a quick look at my airbrush setup. So, let's get into it. Alright, so we're going to cover the three main parts of my setup, which is the airbrush, the compressor, and the booth. So we're going to start with the most important part, of course, which is the airbrush. So I chose to pick up the Iwata Neo, and I picked it up last Christmas or so, last January, after a ton of research, learning about airbrushes. And I saw a video by Spitic8 on YouTube, which I'll link below. He's a pro airbrusher, and he says that this thing is great if you just can keep it clean. And I really could not agree more with that sentiment, like 120%. He has a video showing how to fully break it down, how to clean it, how to do a quick clean, do a full clean, all this stuff, just kind of showing you the full ins and outs of the airbrush. And that really taught me, it was really helpful in the beginning, first of all, knowing where to look for problems, and then it also taught me how to diagnose issues with the airbrush when they did, arise. So knowledge is power, and those videos really taught me the complete ins and outs, and the more you know about your airbrush, the easier time you'll have in using it. So they're really simple machines though, so don't be turned off by airbrushing. They're really, really simple, and there's not much to this. So if you think it's like too complicated for you, no, it's not. Like anybody can learn how to airbrush. And they're very simple machines. So when I first got my airbrush, I went pretty heavy with it at first. I was using acrylic primer, acrylic paint, and acrylic clear coat. And with the 0.3 needle, I must admit, I had a little bit of trouble, especially with the primer. So I upgraded to a 0.5 needle, nozzle, and nose, I think they call it, setup. I don't know, something like that. There's three essential pieces you have to kind of switch out. And it works much better. It shoots everything just like butter. Except primer. I do have a little bit of problem shooting primer out of here. But it's kind of just, I've only used Vallejo acrylic primer. So it's kind of just like a personal experience thing. But my personal preference really is just to use like rattle can primer. But don't let that turn you off. Definitely try it out. Try out your favorite primer in here because you might have better experience or better luck than I did or whatever. It shoots acrylic paint and clear coat beautifully. We can get into details later, but I thin my paint about 1/3, the one being isopropyl alcohol. I don't usually buy the fancy Tamiya thinner. And then I keep these on hand. Usually I'll just thin as I go. I'll pour some, or I'll suck some paint up, and I'll use a clean one to do some alcohol. And then otherwise though, if you get a new jar, you can just fill it up to the top with isopropyl and shake it, and then the whole jar will be good for airbrushing. So some details, if you get this airbrush, you can get it from, well, I really encourage that you get it from either Michael's or Hobby Lobby, because you can use their everyday savings coupon, or whatever it's called. It's usually anywhere from 40 to 60% off. So when I got this one, I was able to get it for 50% off, and I was able to pick it up, in store the same day. So only 60 bucks for this airbrush when I picked it up, which I think was a great freaking deal.
Hey you guys, real quick, I just wanted to break in and say that while making this video, I actually checked Hobby Lobby's website, and they took this item off their daily regular item list or whatever, so you can't use the coupon on this item at Hobby Lobby, but in return they lowered the price to just 50 bucks. So if you don't have Michael's near you and you have a Hobby Lobby, you can go there and pick up the same brush for $50, and looks like it's got a new box or something like that. But I just want to let you guys know.
Especially considering how long it's lasted, and I think me and this airbrush will still, have a lot of kits to paint together. So I'm very, very happy with it, and I really encourage this one, especially for beginners, because if you do end up doing something crazy with it and it breaks, number one, they sell tons of replacement parts. It's really not that hard to fix, and even if you do really, really fuck it up, it's only 60 bucks. It's not like you spend 100 bucks on something, much, much nicer. So, but overall, I have nothing but great things to say about it. I think it's a good airbrush. So the compressor, this is just going to be really quick. Here's the actual unit here. It's got some suction cups on the bottom. It's got the moisture trap. There's the release for it, a little button you can press. It's got the valve, of course, and then it's pretty heavy. There's a lot going on inside here, and the thing on top. And then it's also got, which comes in handy, a handle, because I do move it around a lot. So very quickly, I got this compressor under recommendation from Old School Gunpla on Instagram. This is the TC20 by Master Airbrush. I've had no problems with it. It's really straightforward and easy to use. I really had no idea what to look for in a compressor when I was first getting one, but this one does have a moisture trap, which does come in handy. It also has a really easy to adjust, pressure valve there. The biggest kicker about this machine, though, is it only costs $66 plus shipping. So between this and your airbrush, you're only really looking at like $120, $130 or so, with shipping, for the two, which really is not, in the grand scheme of things, that expensive. I got mine direct from the manufacturer, tcpglobal.com. You can also get them on Amazon and Artist Supply. So now they come with hoses, I guess. They come with this and this all attached up. When I first got mine, though, it didn't. It literally only came with the unit here. So I had to track down one of these adapters at a hardware store and kind of manually do all this stuff myself. It wasn't that hard, but I got lucky finding this adapter, locally 5 minutes from home. That could have been a couple days shipping right there. All right, so real quick, we're going to talk about my booth that I have here. I'll have a link to this below where you can pick this one up. I got the one with the lights. There's one without lights, a little bit cheaper. But anyway, I got this much later after spraying over garbage cans and cardboard boxes for a couple months. It's pretty loud, but it sucks up all the overspray. And when it gets clogged up, I kind of have to shake the filters out to loosen up the paint. And you'll see in there right now, it's pretty clogged up. I just finished doing like a full paint couple weeks ago or so. New filters aren't that expensive. They're only $10 last I checked, so I could just completely replace them, but you can easily kind of just pull them out and refresh them too. I got mine for $120, but you can get these for a little bit cheaper if you don't want the lights in it or whatever. The lights do come in handy, and I do have a window that's right behind it, so I don't have the full vent set up, but it does come with a full hose and a window vent that you can put over that and vent out into a window. So I'm gonna turn it on. You guys can kind of see what it's like inside. So it's pretty light out here right now. So the lights aren't really doing much because it's so bright in here already. But as you guys can hear, it is pretty loud. All right, so in closing, when I first got into Gunpla, airbrushing seemed like a dream. It didn't seem like something I'd really ever be, capable of doing. It seemed like one of those things that was just so kind of intense, learning a whole other hobby in itself, that it was just kind of unattainable for me. But that's the thing that I really love about Playmo, is that it really makes our imagination stretch, and in turn we learn new abilities and surprise ourselves. So only 7 or 8 months in my Gunpla journey, I was already airbrushing a full kit and kind of getting used to the whole action of doing that. And now that I'm a year in, airbrushing can be a chore sometimes, but I do have my challenges with it. I'm still learning a ton. I'm still a student to the airbrush, but really overall, it's super, super enjoyable to do. I love planning out the colors and seeing a custom kit kind of come to life, in my own vision. That's really one of the coolest things about Gunpla. If you've been following this channel, then you know that I really do love my master grade straight builds, decking them out with water slides and doing all that. But I also really love finding a nicely designed high grade and customizing it in my own colors. For me, both of those processes are completely equally as enjoyable and equally as fun. So Gunpla is freedom, and I hope, go do you. And I hope this video was somewhat enjoyable. I hope you kind of learned something. And I gotta ask, do you airbrush? What's your setup like? And if you got any questions, please drop them in the box below. 'Cause I'd love to hear about them and answer them, and maybe even make a video about your specific question. So thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hit the thumbs up button. You can follow me on Instagram for daily content at Zero System with 2 M's. And of course, hit the subscribe button. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace. Hey, and real quick, if you watched this far, I picked this up from Harbor Freight. It was only like $7 or $8, and it's incredibly handy for holding your airbrush, because an airbrush full of paint is really hard to put down anywhere else except an airbrush holder. And you can't beat $7 or $8, so Harbor Freight, definitely check these out. Alright, peace out, guys.